Death is not a rule. We treat it like one. Every living thing on this planet, every animal, every plant, every organism complex enough to have cells that divide and age and wear down. We assume it ends. We built entire philosophies around that assumption. Religions, medical science, the way we understand time itself. All of it rests on one foundational belief. Everything dies. The ocean disagrees. In the darkness below the surface, in the cold and the pressure and the places we have barely touched, evolution found a different answer. Not a workaround, not a delay, a completely different answer. Some of what lives down there does not age the way we age. Some of it does not die the way we die. 7 creatures, 7 different ways the ocean decided death was optional. We start here because this one should not be possible. The Turritopsis dornii is a jellyfish roughly the size of a fingernail, translucent, delicate, almost invisible in open water. Nothing about it suggests what it can do. When this jellyfish is injured, starving, or simply old, it does not die. It reverses. The entire organism reverts back to its earliest form. Its adult body transforms back into a polyp, the juvenile stage, the very beginning of its life cycle. And then it grows again, develops again, ages again, until the next time death approaches, and it reverses again. Scientists call this transdifferentiation. A fully mature adult cell, a muscle cell, a nerve cell, transforms into a completely different type of cell. Not a repair, a transformation. One type of cell becoming another type entirely. This is not supposed to happen. In virtually every complex organism on Earth, cells are locked into their type from early development. The biological machinery that enforces this is one of the most fundamental features of complex life. The Turritopsis dornii ignores this entirely. There is no known biological limit to how many times it can reverse. No evidence the process degrades over time. In theory, a single jellyfish, exposed to no external cause of death, could cycle through this reversal indefinitely, forever. Right now, colonies of this jellyfish are spreading through every ocean on the planet, each one carrying this biological answer to death inside cells smaller than the width of a human hair. We have spent centuries studying aging. A jellyfish the size of your fingernail quietly solved the entire problem without us. Not every immortal announces itself. The ocean quahog is a clam. It sits on the North Atlantic Ocean floor, filtering water, doing essentially nothing of note. In 2006, researchers dredged one up near Iceland and began counting the growth rings on its shell, the way you count rings on a tree. Each ring is 1 year. They counted 507 rings. The clam had been alive since 1499, before Shakespeare was born, before the printing press reached England, before the modern concept of Europe existed. 5 centuries of sitting quietly in the sediment while the world above it transformed beyond recognition. They named it Ming, after the Chinese dynasty ruling when it was born. Ming died during the study. Researchers opened the shell to count the rings more precisely and killed the oldest known animal ever recorded in the process. The reason for its longevity lies in how the ocean quahog handles oxidative stress. The process of living generates toxic byproducts that damage cells over time. This damage accumulates. This accumulation drives aging in most animals, including humans. The ocean quahog neutralizes that damage almost as fast as living creates it. 5 centuries, and we killed it trying to understand it. It moves at 1 mile per hour. It does not need to move faster. The Greenland shark patrols the deep, cold waters of the Arctic Ocean so slowly that sleeping seals simply do not wake up in time. It has been doing this for a very long time. In 2016, researchers analyzed the eye lenses of 28 Greenland sharks using radiocarbon dating. Eye lens proteins form during embryonic development and never regenerate. The carbon signature locked inside tells you exactly when the animal was born. The oldest shark was estimated to be between 272 and 512 years old. If born at the midpoint estimate, it was alive when Galileo was building his first telescope. When the Mayflower crossed the Atlantic, it has been swimming these same cold waters for nearly 4 centuries, and it is likely still alive right now. The Greenland shark reaches sexual maturity at approximately 150 years of age. For the first century and a half of its life, it is still a juvenile. Right now, in the Arctic Ocean, there are Greenland sharks alive that were born before your country existed, swimming at 1 mile per hour, with nowhere in particular to be. The Hydra is a tiny freshwater organism, a close relative of jellyfish, that grows to about ½ an inch long. It looks like a translucent tube with tentacles. Nothing about it suggests what biologists discovered. The Hydra does not appear to age, not slowly, not at a reduced rate. It simply does not show measurable biological aging at all. For virtually every complex animal on Earth, the probability of dying increases with age. The older you are, the more likely you are to die on any given day. We treat this as a biological law. The Hydra's mortality rate stays completely flat. A 2015 study tracked 2,256 Hydra over 8 years. No increase, no deterioration, no measurable aging whatsoever. The gene responsible appears to be FOXO, present not only in Hydra, but in virtually every complex animal on Earth, including humans. In the Hydra, it is permanently and fully active. In humans, it functions at a fraction of that capacity. What would happen if it could be fully activated in human cells is a question that keeps biologists awake at night. The tardigrade does not live forever, but it survives things that should make death physically inevitable. This 8-legged microscopic animal, found in deep ocean sediment and almost everywhere else on Earth, enters a state called cryptobiosis when conditions become lethal. It expels almost all water from its body, retracts its legs, and shuts down every measurable biological process. Metabolism drops to 0.01% of normal. Heart stops. Brain activity stops. To every measurable instrument, it is dead. It is not dead. In this state, the tardigrade survives temperatures of -272 degrees Celsius, pressure 6 times greater than the deepest ocean trench. Radiation doses 1,000 times the lethal dose for a human. In 2007, the European Space Agency sent tardigrades into open space on the outside of a satellite, directly exposed to vacuum, cosmic radiation, and ultraviolet radiation with no protection. They brought them back, rehydrated them. Most of them survived. The mechanism is a protein called DSUP, damage suppressor, that physically wraps around DNA and shields it from radiation damage. Researchers have successfully inserted the DSUP gene into human cells in laboratory conditions. The human cells became significantly more radiation resistant. The ocean floor contains tardigrades in numbers we cannot fully count. Thousands in every cubic centimeter of deep-sea mud. Waiting, suspended, patient in a way that makes the word patient feel inadequate. The oldest animal on Earth might be one you would not recognize as an animal. Sea sponges have no brain, no nervous system, no muscles, no organs. They are essentially a collection of cells organized around channels that filter water. By almost any intuitive definition of animal, they barely qualify. A specimen found on the floor of the East China Sea was found to be approximately 11,000 years old. This sponge was alive at the end of the last ice age. Before agriculture existed as a concept, before the first permanent human settlements, it has been filtering water through the same channels for the entire span of recorded human civilization, and then some. When a sponge is passed through a fine sieve that separates every single cell, those separated cells find each other, recognize each other, and rebuild the organism. No brain directing it, no central system coordinating it. The cells simply reassemble. 11,000 years old, no brain, no organs, older than civilization itself. The ocean does not need complexity to achieve permanence. This one you have seen. This one you may have eaten. The American lobster is not immortal, but the way it ages biologists describe with a specific term: negligible senescence. Its organs do not deteriorate, its fertility does not decline, its immune system does not weaken. An older lobster is not biologically weaker than a younger one. It is often stronger. The reason is telomerase. Every time a cell divides, its telomeres, the protective caps on chromosome ends, get slightly shorter. When they become too short, the cell can no longer divide and eventually dies. This shortening is one of the primary biological clocks of aging in complex animals, including humans. Lobsters produce telomerase throughout their entire bodies, their entire lives. The biological clock does not run down. The cells keep dividing cleanly, indefinitely. Lobsters do eventually die, not from aging, but from the physical cost of molting. Growing requires shedding and rebuilding its shell. This process becomes too energy demanding as the lobster grows larger. Eventually, it stops. The shell becomes infected. The animal dies. But the biology underneath, the cells, the organs, the immune system, shows no measurable deterioration. Telomerase is present in human cells, active in stem cells and in cancer cells, which use it to divide indefinitely. The challenge of activating it safely in healthy cells without triggering cancer is one of the central problems of aging research. The lobster solved it. Living on the ocean floor. 7 creatures, 7 answers to the same question. The jellyfish that reverses, the clam that outlived 5 centuries, the shark born before your nation existed, the organism whose mortality rate never increases, the animal that survives open space, the sponge older than civilization, the lobster whose cells do not age. The science of aging draws directly from these organisms. Telomerase research from lobsters, transdifferentiation from jellyfish, FOXO gene studies from Hydra, D-sup protein from tardigrades. These are not curiosities, these are blueprints. The ocean has already solved problems we are still learning to ask correctly. What else it has solved, in organisms we have not yet found, in depths we have not yet reached, that question remains open. The ocean has had a very long time to work on it, and it is not finished.